The article review about a leadership skill, or in the brackets, managing organizational change through effective leadership. The first one is the introduction of article review. Good leadership is the engines that drive organizational change, ensuring that it is managed efficiently and effectively. The purpose of this article was to assess the ways in which previous studies had addressed the topic of change management in recent years, with a focus on the various ways in which manager leadership styles can affect the process. These results highlight a potentially useful aspect of organizational change management that might be utilized to guide top management and shape the long-term trajectory of business in modern post-pastoralist society. Summary of the article. The goal of every organizational change initiative should be to effect observable and tangible shift inside the organization. Successful organizational change was found to improve organizational performance, but this finding was hotly contested. John, in 2010, described it as the process through which organizations evolve from their current condition to their ideal condition. Leaders that are both effective and strategic pay close attention to the three stages of the change process, which is the development, execution, and maintenance. In the 21st century, with tremendous technical advance, companies need to be more adaptable to change if they are to gain an advantage over the rival. Leadership within a company, according to Singh 2011, is essential for facilitating change adaptation. Thank you.
Refer to our article review that has mentioned good leadership is the engine that drives organizational change, ensuring that it's managed efficiently and effectively. The purpose of this article was to assess the ways in which previous studies had addressed the topic of change management in recent years, with a focus on the various ways in which managers' leadership styles can affect the process. So the question is the article significant? Well, it has changed the way other professionals in the field view of the subject, as instead of just reviewing the current knowledge. Taking into account the great number of organizations and institutions globally, it is only natural that the general well-being of a place become an object of theoretical interest and extensive research. According to Bilias and Costellos, who stated that employees' enthusiasm for the shift has been spurred in part by the organization's excellent leadership. Demographic characteristics, employment characteristics, organizational factors, interpersonal differences, and work environment factors are some of the factors that interact in a highly complex way and accordingly produce satisfaction or dissatisfaction among employees. Among these factors, role conflict seems to play a salient role, and according to Costellos, there are many ways in which an article can help the field of research about the change organization through effective leadership can be successful. The authors of the article began with evaluating how a leader behavior varies depending on the people they are in control of. This approach between a leader and a follower, or between a leader and a follower, as it is occasionally described, to examines how the two people's bond evolve throughout time.
Good day to Madam Caroline and my fellow friend. I'm Amila. I'm going to present of our reflections or opinion based on the journal article. Is the article written well and clear? Based on our opinions, yes, the author developed the journal article well by supporting their opinions with adequate and up-to-date research, which is the author present related effects that are verified by researchers synthesize some opinions and ideas gathered from literature review, which is different scholars and academicians. Other than that, there's no jargon words have been used by the authors in the journal article instead of the words have been used by the authors is clear. The article is also reader friendly as the authors have used straightforward language that is factual. The author tones is thoughtful and serious as the author continues to inform the leadership style or types, practice, and behaviors in managing organizational change through effective leaderships. Is any information missing based on the journal article? In our opinions, there is no information missing from the journal articles, and we will agree with the author. It is because in the successful implementations of change, the role of leadership is highly significant and foremost supported by the organizational values and communication channels. As we know, according to the leadership trust, leadership is about setting an example and utilizing personal influence to win people's hearts and minds in order to achieve a common aim or common goal. Gill 2001. Based on the journal article, the author has a literature matrix on the relationship between leadership role and the change management, which is highlighting the importance of the effective leadership in change management. The author also has provides the leadership dimensions into effective leadership to in change management in order to deal with the inverse conditions of managing organizational change, which need to understand the importance of effective leadership in change management for organizational sustainability. Furthermore, the journal article highlights the importance of effective leadership and change management in the transformations of the organizations and to explore strategies that are required to retain and to develop employers' brands in order to highlight leadership strategies to the managing organizational change in unprecedented situations like COVID-19.
Good afternoon, madam and friends. Now my turn to present. Is there any need for more research on the topic? Okay, right to focus some points in this article. In 21st century, change management and leadership role in both public and private sector. Change management is crucial issues not more conventional nowadays. Two types of leadership, transactional and transformational leadership. Transactional leader who reward those who follow, and transformational leader is knowledge, expertise, and vision to change people. Suggestion for more research on this topic. As we know, we're recently affected by COVID-19 pandemic. And for my opinion, application of new type of approach or combination of existing theory of change management and leadership are very welcoming to improve this research. Maybe in future, more writers and researchers can highlight topic of leaders' competency in facing and solving their organization throughout the pandemic era. Is the content of the article has provided the information that have been studying in our course? Yes. As we have learned in chapter 2, there is two types of organizational change. First change is first order change, and the second one is second order change. First order change, some recap on what we have learned, is used to represent continuous improvement. It less impact but involves changes or adjustment to existing system. It occurs within existing structure. First order changes improve system efficiency, and then it succeed when the problem has a single cause. For example, problem of machine that unserviceable or not working, so it need troubleshoot to solve the problem. Okay, the second order change, it can be more drastic and critically also connected to unplanned change, frequently referred as transformational, revolutionary, radical, disruptive, and discontinuous. Involve a new way doing things, shifting values, goals, and structural changes. Changes imposed on top-down approach, for example, downsizing, restructuring, and re-engineering. And as what we can see from the organization that affected by pandemic COVID-19 era, we can see most of the organization apply the second order change for their organization. Okay, another thing that we have been studied that related to this article is topic of leadership in chapter 4. Writers highlight concept of leadership vision and strategy, and roles of effective change leaders. As what we have learned, leadership is ability to influence a group of people. A leader with strong leadership skill easily motivate and influence employee and implement effective changes. Leaders are change agents by establishing vision. Corporate leaders enable people to contribute, solve problems, learn by experience, and accumulate invisible asset. Some role of a leader that leading change. Roles of effective leadership, challenge the status quo and ready for change. Inspire a shared vision, and then allow others to act. Recruit additional sponsors at various levels. And next is use symbolic and substantive action, lead by example, and lastly, communicate the message repeatedly. Thank you.
Hello, Madam Caroline and everybody. I will present my path under the subtopic of arguments or ideas. Management change in organizational is continuous phase and it is important for both private and public sector. Our group have agreed that the change in the management start with leader with strong leadership skill that can easily motivate and influence the employee. Usually, with this type of leader, the employee will trust them and will follow the leader path and planning. Thus, it will change the flow of work or the work process in the organization. When that happens, sometimes the current procedure and rules in the organization is not suitable anymore. And here comes the management roles where they should be adaptive to change. They change the rules and procedure according to the work process so that it will ease their employee tasks. And not all of the changes can take immediate effect. Some might require longer time to adjust. And our group opinion is aligned with Belias and Costelius and Singh. According to Belias and Costelius, strategic leadership needs to be transformational if it is aim to serve the organization where the changes in the organizational is implemented by the leader. While according to Singh, adaptive change in the organization can only be achieved through organizational leadership. From the article, there was a lot of studies and finding. From the past and latest research, even though the finding is different, but what we see is that the leadership and the management has to work together regardless of which century the research was made. As a conclusion, both leader and the management have their own responsibility to improve the organization and both must be ready to adapt changes. Good leadership with rigid management will not improve anything. It's just an idea without commencement. That's all. Thank you.